everybody. I've been on the road for 1 week now with my trainer for P&S Transportation. This is week 1 of 3 weeks. So I wrote all my notes down and let me share with you what I did this week. So Monday, didn't do anything. The trainer got down to my location on Monday night. So I met him Tuesday morning at 5 o'clock. No. God, I can't remember. It was so long ago. I met him very early on Tuesday morning. So he already had a load on the trailer. It was flat metal sheets. And they are not like the thick ones. They're very, very thin. They're usually 8 to 10 feet long. It's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's mainly used, here we go. It's about the thickness of the plates that they do the diamond stamps on. I can't even think of the name of it now. The stamped metal, like on fire trucks, or the steps on your tractor trailer. You know, that thin metal, or the catwalk plates. You know, those. It looks like you can stamp metal. Anyway, it's thin metal sheets. Okay. So we delivered that to Richmond, and then we picked up some pipe at U.S. Pipe in Lynchburg, Virginia. And if you've ever been to U.S. Pipe, either get there really, 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 really early, or don't go at all. Okay. We got to U.S. Pipe in Lynchburg at 1 o'clock. We didn't leave there until after 9 p.m. So it was about 8.5 hours off duty. It was about 8 hours off duty. So this was a good time to use the 8-2 sleeper berth provision, where my trainer, explained it a little bit more in depth. And so basically I had plenty of time to drive to the next delivery of that pipe in Pennsylvania. And so that's what I did. I tried to sleep as best as I could. It was kind of hard. I mean, you really can't fall asleep at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon if you haven't really done nothing. So I did it. I drove through the night. Got to Pennsylvania. Got to the delivery in Pennsylvania around 6:30 in the morning. They offloaded at 7. And then once we were empty, we had to wait for our next load, which ended up coming maybe about an hour later. At USG, we picked up a preloaded trailer of drywall in Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. So it was about 2.5 hour drive from where we were at to Aliquippa. The preloaded trailers, they're hit and miss. This preloaded trailer was decent. There's a couple pieces we had to fix. The tarp for the most part was put on correctly. It wasn't messed up or anything like that. We add our bungees to it. Obviously we check the strapping, the placement of it, and then put on the corners and then strap it. So that was done all on Wednesday. We delivered in Pennsylvania on Wednesday and picked up in Pennsylvania on Wednesday. So now brings us to Thursday morning. We drove. Hold on, back it up. Wednesday, after we picked up the preloaded trailer, we drove to a truck stop because there was something wrong with the truck. It was something to do with the battery, and the second thing was the trailer. I will say that some drivers have a problem with actually fixing things that's wrong with the trailers. For an example, license plate lights. The DOT personnel and inspectors, basically this is how they think. If it's on the truck or on the trailer, it should work and function normally. So when lights are on the truck and trailer, they should work. They should turn on when they're supposed to turn on, and they should turn off when they're supposed to turn off. So there was license plate light that was out. Now if your trailer lights are off, you don't need it. Well, if they're on, it should be on. When it doesn't come on, it needs to get fixed. Otherwise, that's a DOT violation. So we had to stop, get that fixed, but got it all fixed. We stayed there overnight in Breezewood, Pennsylvania at the TA. I don't remember what exit number it was, but man, that place is nice. It is very nice. I when the trainer woke me up, because I slept in the truck, I was on the top bunk, he was on the bottom bunk. When he woke me up, I looked at my phone and it said 6 o'clock. For some reason, I thought it was 6 p.m. So I was like, oh, okay, well, he mentioned about leaving at like 7 a.m. Didn't dawn on me. It was in fact 6 a.m. on Thursday. But trust me, after driving that, my internal clock was just messed up. But everything kind of worked itself out. So, which leads us to Thursday. So then I drove the remainder portion to Capitol Heights, Maryland. That's where we dropped off the load of drywall. Dropped that off, untarped, unstrapped. I think we got unloaded in like 36 minutes. And there was a truck in front of us that was getting unloaded, so it was pretty quick. And then from there, we went to Baltimore, Maryland, where we picked up a load of CDX. Not like OSB. OSB is particles glued together. CDX is panels that are laminated together. They're 100% flat. There's not little tiny pieces. We picked up that. Now, when we get to this plant in Baltimore, it's more of a port. Container ships come in, they offload cargo, they put them in these giant warehouses, and then they wait for carriers to come in, park, get loaded, and then they send it out to the customer. Well, when you first come in this gate, there's like a tiny little sign above the security guard shack, whatever. Of course, nobody's there. So we start creeping in to this huge port. And all of a sudden, we're in between these two buildings. There's parking spots on the sides, and there's a little road in the middle, and there's signs that say, carriers call this number. And there's like signs every 12 feet. We're like, what? We should probably call that number. So before we did that, we found a couple workers, and they said, no, you need to turn around and go outside the gate. And then when you get to the gate, you call. Okay? Whatever. But anywho, so we did that. Come to find out, it was literally the same place that we stopped and asked for help was the place we needed to go. Lesson learned. Pull up to the gate, call. We had to tarp that load. That was a live load, live loading. And then we had to tarp it. Now, the trick with tarps is, when they load their trailer, when the forklift operator loads your trailer, when he brings that last pallet out, ask him to stop, in the front of the trailer next to the rub rail, and then you can just roll that tarp onto that pallet, and they can set it up top, so you're not having to throw, 100, 120 pound tarp over your head onto, a 6 to 7 foot load. It's already there, up there for you. That was nice. Work smarter, not harder. And some of these guys are, yeah, sure, no problem, I'll do that for you. So that was nice. And then Baltimore, so we left there with the CDX, heading to Massachusetts. So we did our trip plan. Well, I did the trip plan and figured that, with the amount of time I had left to drive, I've been driving since Tuesday. The first day I just been driving, right? The trainer drove for like 3 hours. But I've been, in the driver's seat doing everything. That's the way I learn. I have to do it. I can't just sit in the passenger seat and just watch. No, I need to physically do everything, right? I mean, and I have experience driving, so that's not a problem. But being in the driver's seat, seeing the clock, that's normal. But then doing all the paperwork side of it, I have to do that. I need to pull out my map book, look at my routes, get in my iPad has Trucker's Path. I don't use that for navigation. What I like to do in Trucker Path is actually put in, where I'm going and click start trip, and then across your trip you can see your truck stops, your weigh stations, your like truck washes, the blue beacons. You can see all of those. And a lot of people use it. So when, you're coming up to that weigh station, you could have a weigh station like 50 miles. You could see the reports if it's open or closed. But hey, if you do it like you do it, right? You do your logs like you're actually doing your logs. Record it as, you're doing it. You're not overweight. You got nothing to hide. And you actually do your pre-trip. That's key. Do your pre-trip. It's a regulation. You have to do it. We'll get into that. You should already know that by now. So, stay at the truck stop. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't stay at a truck stop. We couldn't find one with the hours that we had left. So we actually stayed in a hotel. It was a nice hotel. I think it was a Hampton something. Hampton Bay Inn, Hampton Roads. That's over by Newport News in Virginia. Hampton something. Anyway, so woke up early Friday. I think it was like 3 a.m. Got on the road, drove. What did I drive? 4.5 hours. Yeah, it was like 4.5 hours. It was like 187 something miles. Drove to Billerica, Massachusetts. Billerica with a B. Delivered the CDX. And then we went over to Devens, Massachusetts, to the other USG plant, where we picked up another preloaded trailer. Now, this preloaded trailer, garbage. The tarps were beyond repair. I mean, it was terrible. I looked at it and I was like, nope. Got out the duct tape, started patching all the holes. Because you got to protect the load. As a driver, you have to protect your loads. You have to. You damage it, it gets wet when it's supposed to be dry. They can refuse it. So when that happens, A, you got this load on your trailer that you got to get rid of now. B, you're not going to get paid for that. And C, what the hell are you going to do? Do you have enough time to get another load? What do I have to do? Call your dispatcher. Call your driver manager. So we fixed all that. Now what's cool about this one is this is a two-stopper. They're both in Maine. One is, I wrote it down, is Presque Isle in Maine. I'm probably mispronounced that one. And Lincoln, Maine. So the first stop, Presque Isle, is the northeast corner, close to Canada. So, but we don't go into Canada. P&S does not operate in Canada, nor do they operate in Mexico. So you don't have to cross the border. I guess if you could, I guess if you wanted to, you probably could, but I don't know if they even offer anything, to other territories. So that's a good question. I'm going to ask that. And then Lincoln is the southern part of Maine, like right off of 95. So that's a two-stopper. So with the two-stopper, you have to be mindful of your piece count. It'll show like the first stop is 10 pieces, which is actually like 10 pallets. So on drywall, they're usually stacked 3 high. It's, 18 inches, that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's 3 pieces. So the first one's getting 10. The second one is getting, the second stop is getting 17. So that's how they're doing it. So we just got to make sure, what they're taking off is for them and not for the second stop, because then you got to go back and forth and it's a shit show. So the plan is, so today is Saturday. I got to the hotel Friday around 1:30, 2 o'clock. Shut down, did my post-trip. Double check the load, make sure everything was, sealed up, because it was supposed to rain. And guess what? It is raining outside. No, I'm not gonna say it. Hurricane sucks. But we are, so today's Saturday. I'm in the hotel in, where the hell am I? Somewhere in Massachusetts, close to Boston. That's all I know. The good thing about this hotel is right across the parking lot. Don't even have to cross the street. In the parking lot, there is a Dunkin' Donuts. And let me tell you, the farther north I got, it's like sign after sign. Dunkin' Donuts, Dunkin' Donuts, Dunkin' Donuts. I've seen one Starbucks. Everything else, Dunkin' Donuts, Dunkin' Donuts. I love it. So I'm gonna do my 34-hour reset, and then Sunday we're gonna start heading to Maine. And I did my trip plan, so it'll take about 6.5 hours to get to the first stop, which is in Presque Isle, Maine. So if we leave by 11 o'clock on Sunday, we should get up there by 6 or 7 o'clock at night. I also got to account for my fuel. So I'm at about half a tank. So there's a truck stop 90 miles north on 95. And in our network, that was the only truck stop that I saw that was in our network. Because we can only fuel up at Love's, Pilot, Flying J, and TA, Petro. That's it. So you have to be mindful when you're doing your trip plan to look for those. So once I get past that TA, I think it's a Pilot, whatever. Once I get past that, excuse me, there's nothing for fuel that I can technically go to. I could, in emergency, I could go there and then call and get approval for X amount of gallons. But I'm not trying to make extra work for me. I just want do my job, get it delivered. So stop and get fuel and def, head up there, get there around 6:30, 7 o'clock, shut down, and then Monday morning, bright and early, I'm talking like 5 a.m., get to the shipper, get to the consignee, the delivery, and get offloaded. As soon as that's done, retarp, restrap, boom, head down to Lincoln. Now from first stop to second stop is about 3.5 hours. Get down there, get offloaded, get empty, reset the trailer, and hopefully get a reload no later than lunchtime. My trainer likes to operate kind of in this area: Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, a little bit in Philadelphia, and Massachusetts. He's from Massachusetts, so that's why we're doing the 34-hour reset here. He's from Massachusetts, so it only makes sense, right? So I'm not sure what they're gonna. I don't know the market up here. I don't know what they're gonna have for a reload out of Maine. We may have to drive a little bit to get our pickup. But other than that, that is basically my week of week 1 on the road training with P&S Transportation. So, some tips. They're going to have the GPS unit in their trucks. They're going to have their own, okay? If you decide to get one, this is what I would do. Save up your money, because you're not getting reimbursed for meals while you're in the over-the-road portion. You're not. So save your money and wait until you're done, and then you get that compensation increase, right? So in the class, you get 600, then you'll bump up to like 900, whatever, depending on which class you're in, right? You get bumped up, and then you can take 1 or 2 of your paychecks, take the difference, it's $300. So boom, you save 2 paychecks, boom, there's $600. You can invest in a GPS unit that you like. The Samsara ELD computers inside of the newer trucks, the newer system, have a built-in GPS unit inside of it. It's called Copilot. I've been using that. He also has the trainer has it's a Rand McNally. I think it's a 4-inch screen, I think. But I put that on as well. So we've got two GPSs. So they kind of can correlate, they kind of disagree, but I look at what's going to get me there the fastest, but on the main road, right? I don't want to get off on some, state route that takes me on a back road where there's weight limits on bridges and height restrictions for overpasses and no truck zones, no truck roads. So you gotta be careful. Second thing, get yourself a headset. This is the perfect time to have your headset on while you're driving and keep your phone either in, I don't even put it in the cup holder, I'll put it up on the dash, in the little, we got like a little tray. I'll put it on silent, I'll stick it up there, and then all the notifications will go to my headset. It'll ring, and then there's a setting if you have an iPhone. I'm not sure about Android, but on the iPhone, if somebody calls you, it'll say, call from wife, call from, driver manager, call from unknown, right? So then if you have your headset on, it'll say in your headset, call from whoever, and then you can answer it. Because you never, ever want to have your phone in your hand while operating a commercial motor vehicle. I've seen a lot of that. And trust me, it will get you a one-way ticket to unemployment. And actually, well, I don't know if you can collect unemployment because it's in the policy. But all I'm saying is don't touch your freaking phone while you're driving. Headset. No phones. All right? That's point 2. Point 3. It's in the truck. The winch roller. You hook it on the winch and go. You roll up the strap. If you don't have one, Amazon, it was like $27. Best investment ever. I've always had one while I worked for ABC Supply. I brought it with me here. Use it. It's so much faster than trying to wind it up with your hand. It saves your forearms. And other than that, I really don't have anything else. Oh, here's a big thing. Get yourself some sheets. Bring yourself a blanket, bring yourself a pillow. I didn't know what to get. So, luckily there was a blanket that I could use, and it was wide enough to where I could put one on the actual bed, and then have it, was it like a taco comes over and it folds over me, and then I bought a pillow. Okay, so you're definitely gonna want that, especially now, because it is in September, almost October. Yeah, tomorrow's October. It's getting chilly out. So, but the bunk heater does work. That's actually one of the things you have to check when you do get your own truck is a bunk heater to make sure it works. I can't think of anything else. There's really nothing else I needed to tell you guys yet. Next week will be week 2. Okay, the whole knowing if I'm gonna get a truck after I'm done. No, I don't know. I give you guys the information, as it comes into me. I take my notes, and then when I do my video, boom, I give you all the information. Like I said before in my previous videos, there's an influx of drivers. There's a lot of people coming in, and there's a shortage on trucks. It's not because, P&S can't afford it. It's because, like with the regular car industry, remember the big thing was new cars weren't getting to the dealerships because of electronic chips from China or from wherever they come from. It's the same thing with, trucks. They're waiting on parts. They have to put them together. They got to outfit them. Then they got to go to, I think Birmingham first. They got to go to a terminal, get decaled. They got to get numbers put on them. They got to have an asset control number. They got to get chipped. They got to get the computer systems put in. There's a whole bunch of stuff that has to happen before a truck can be even ready for a driver, And then once you get it, you got to check it. You got to make sure that you have your equipment. You got to have to make sure that you have all the safety equipment. You got to check things. There's so much you got to do. But like I said, I'm going to do these videos in steps. Okay, so you saw the 3 weeks in Carlisle. Now you saw the first week of Over the Road. You kind of get an idea as to what to expect. And then as time goes on, you're going to see every single step of the way, So, like I said, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave a comment. You can follow me on Facebook as well, the Honey Badger Trucker. Other than that, I don't have anything else. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my water, and go to Dunkin'. So y'all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. If you are in training right now, good luck to you. Please do not hesitate. Send me a message on Facebook or comment on YouTube. If you have your questions, I will help you. If I can't, I will find out for you. Okay? Thank you all and have a wonderful day.